Om Namaste and welcome to the fourth session of spiritual aspects of Agnihotra. We have discussed at length the interplay of Jnana, Karma and Upasana and how it can lead us to Vijnan, extraordinary intuitive knowledge, direct from Ishwar. Last time we said that Agnihotra is prefaced with 8 mantras of what is called Ishwar Stuti Prarthanopasana. Stuti, Prarthana and Upasana of Ishwar. So recitation of these 8 mantras bring in inherent spirituality to Agnihotra. These 8 mantras summarize what should be the objective of the human life and how it can be attained in 3 terms, namely Stuti, Prarthana and Upasana. Stuti is to recite the virtues of Ishwar. What are his attributes? What are his functions, etc. That motivates us to lift our own personality toward that Supreme Being, to gain a small fraction of all the attributes he has. This is called Ishwar Stuti, recollection of what he exactly is like. And then Prarthana, in simple term, is prayer, seeking his help in this kind of endeavor, that I want to lift my own personality in his making towards an ideal personality that Ishwar is. I want him to be my role model, and then I want to rise above that. And in so doing, in making this effort, of course, I will put in my best, but I seek his help. That is Prarthana. And Upasana is, as we have said, being with him. This term Upasana has not been translated properly, even by the scholars of Ismas when they translated into English. This term comes in the second principle of आर्य समाज, उसी की उपासना करनी योग्य है. If you will see the English translations of the 10 principles of आर्य समाज, this particular sentence generally has been translated as to him only worship is due. That is, the term upasana has been translated as worship. And worship is a common term. Even all the faith-based institutions in the world, and people have they subscribe to one faith or another. You call it Christianity, Islam, or there are hundreds of them. And unfortunately, Hinduism is also nowadays treated like a faith. But originally it was Satya Sanatana Vedic Dharma, eternal principles. But now A common Hindu thinks he also subscribes to a faith based religion like other people, a Christian, Muslim, or others do. And these faith based institutions are characterized by there are three important parameters. They have a founder, a human being who founded that religion. Then there is a so called holy book that was brought into existence by that founder or by the followers of that founder, the holy book, number two. And then they generally have a place of worship, a church, a mosque, and so on and so forth, where they gather and do what they call worship. And when you translate upasana as worship, then people think anything they do in a so called place of worship, that is upasana. So this has become a gross misunderstanding, and unfortunately, within the Arya Samaj community also. A common Arya Samaj member thinks that upasana is worship. And a so called Arya Samaj Bhavan. Now, Arya Samaj Bhavan was literally an assembly, place of assembly. Now that has become Arya Samaj Mandir. Mandir means temple, a place of worship. So we have allowed ourselves to dilute the whole concept of upasana. We shouldn't blame others. Also, in some English translation, upasana has been translated as communion, which is a very specific function in a Christian church. The important thing is the communion between a faith, faithful person and God on the other side is made possible by a priest, by a pastor, by a church father. So there is an intermediary between you and God. But upasana is neither worship nor communion, it is being with Him, Up and Asan. Of course, at this point, I am functioning with my mind, collecting certain thoughts and expressing them in certain words. And you are listening to them to your ears, then you make sense to your mind intellectual faculty. And you try to pick up the ideas that I am trying to convey. The point is, both of us are engaged in a function that is done via body and mind. I am speaking, you are listening. But upasana is to be with Him, that Supreme Being, that all pervading conscious entity, Sachidananda Swarup Ishwar. If I want to be with Him, I must disconnect from my mind. And then I can connect with Him. That is a necessary and sufficient condition. That's what Patanjali defined as yoga as yogas chitta vetti nirodha. Chitta is the very inner function of my mind. Vritti is all its activities, all that it does. Nirodha is to subdue it. So when all the functions of my innermost faculty of mind are subdued, then I am disconnect from mind. I can never disengage from a system unless I bring it to an thoroughly inactive state. Say I am driving a car. If I want to get out of the car, I must bring it to an absolute stop position and park my car at a safe place, and then I can open the door and come out of the car. And if I want to meet somebody, car is a very good vehicle. It brings me to a long distance in short time in a comfortable manner. But then finally I must come out of the car to meet the friend whom I want to meet. The same thing applies to Upasana. If I want to be with him, through my mind I can read all kinds of literature, I can gather all kinds of fantastic ideas, but finally I must bring my mind to an absolute inactive state. That's what Patanjali is saying. Yoga chitta vritti niyodha. Yoga is union, my being with Ishwar, my union with him, but that requires chitta is inner faculty of mind, innermost faculty of mind. Vritti is all that it does. Chitta ka vyapar, all the functions that my innermost faculty of mind does. Niyodh is to subdue it. If I subdue all the functions of my mind, then my mind is thoroughly inactive. Then I am alone. But I am never alone because that entity is everywhere. He is all pervading. I am never alone. So I am with him. And that is what is upasana. So for me to do upasana, I don't have to go to a place of worship. And I don't have to sit with anybody else. This is a very personal affair. So I go to a nice conducive place, maybe in a corner in my house, or maybe in a beautiful garden, or a park, or in a forest area where it is all quiet and calm. And I try to train my mind, gain some control over my mind, calm it down, which is an exercise, but with practice I can do that. So that is what is upasana. But we have missed its essence. As I said, the true meaning of upasana was not captured by even our good scholars. So that's where we can make a beginning to improve our own quality of life and improve the condition of Arya Samaj, a very vibrant movement. It can be brought to a very shining stature if we devote some time to Upasana. So I was saying, Ishwar Stuti Prarthano Upasana. Upasana is Stuti Prarthana is by saying something. So body and mind are involved. As opposed to that, Upasana is absolute disconnect from my mind. So that has brought another misunderstanding in Arya Samaj, which I will try to explain. In order to do stuti, I will recite some Ved mantras. Om Shamo Mitra Shamvaruna Shanno Vishnu Yukama. These are all names of that entity. And every name reflects his attribute, his functions. That is his stuti. And trying to get some inspiration from his so many names. Then Pratna, we can recite another mantra, like the first mantra we will recite today. Om Vishwani Deva Savita Duyitani Payasuva Yadbhadram Tan. This is in the nature of prayer. Can you take away all my misgivings, all that is bad in me, in my mind, in my body, and fill with all the goodness? This is again a recitation of a mantra, and it is well done if I know the meaning of that mantra. And in that spirit, a number of Ayurveda scholars began to think that upasana can also be done by reciting a mantra. They are beautiful Ved mantras, and we will have them in these set of 8 mantras also. They have a they go along a direction of upasana. For example, यो वः शिवतमो सस्तस्य भाजयते उशति एव मातरः. This meaning is, yours, I have had many kind of, tasted many kind of juices in the world, but yours is yo shivtamo rasas. Your ras is shivtam. This is the tastiest. The suffix tam is for superlative degree. It is the best. And that's what I desire. Ushati eva mata. And it happens that it is so easily available, accessible, as mother's milk is available to an infant. No child can complain, I didn't get mother's milk. So is true, because he is everywhere. I can get that tastiest thing. It is easily accessible. Now, this is a Ved mantra in the direction of Upasana. But reciting this mantra doesn't make your Upasana. As we have said, Upasana is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. And when you are reciting it, you are active with your body and mind. Then what is the answer? What is this riddle? If I can do Ishwar Stuti, Ishwar Pratna by mere recitation of a Ved mantra and knowing its meaning, why can I not do Upasana in the same manner? And if I cannot do it, then what is the meaning of these Ishwar Upasana mantra? We have to understand it properly. Ishwar Sthiti can be performed by reciting a Ved mantra of that particular nature and appreciating its meaning. Ishwar Pratna can be done in the same manner by reciting a particular Ved mantra and by being aware of its deep meaning. But when it comes to Ishwar Upasana, there is no way but to do practice of Yoga Chittavritti Nirodha. And in that terminal situation, when mind is absolutely calm, then you are in Upasana. Now the question arises, what is the purpose of this Upasana mantra? Like I recited one of them. Yo va shivtamo asastasya bhajat. The purpose of these Upasana mantra is to motivate me towards Upasana. These are Upasana Payak mantras. They are to motivate me towards Upasana. By mere recitation of these mantras, you cannot do Upasana. They are merely to motivate you towards Upasana. So we have discussed Ishwar Stuti, Pratna and Upasana and their correlations with Jnana Karma and Upasana that we discussed last time. Stuti is in the terms of knowledge. Pratna is making an effort, karma, and in taking those efforts, we seek his help. And Upasana is neither worship nor communion. It is to be with him, and you are with him when you are not with your mind, when you are disconnect from your mind. And the ability to bring your mind to that calm state is gained from a good understanding of Vedic literature, Vedas, Upanishads, and in particular Sankhya and Yoga Sutra. Sankhya is more theoretical basis of yoga, and Yoga Darshan is the practical approach, how to bring your mind calm. Sankhya will teach us what is the nature of our mind, how does this chittavritti arise, and why it is important to subdue them. The theoretical coverage, it has some lot of hints how to perform also. But then his predecessor, Sankhya was authored by Kapil. His predecessor, sorry, he was followed by Patanjali. So Kapil is predecessor of Patanjali. Kapil is author of the Sankhya Sutra, and Patanjali is the author of Yoga Sutra. Patanjali has gone more into detail in practicality aspect, how to achieve that state, whereas all the theoretical aspects and a reasonable amount of practical aspects were covered by Kapil in Sankhya Sutra. So Ishwa Upasana mantras are relevant. They also give us a guidance how to do Upasana, what Upasana will lead us to, what are the benefits of Upasana. But mere recitation of the Upasana Parak mantra, even if you know its deep meaning, doesn't lead you to Upasana. We must understand all these aspects. Now let's take up the first mantra in the series of mantras called, 8 mantras called Ishwar Stuti Pratnopasana. And I'm sure most of you are quite familiar with them. So I will recite the first of them and read out what is the meaning given by Maharishi Dayanand in his Ved Bhashya. Let me read out the first mantra in this series. Om Vishwani Deva Savita Duita Niparasuva Yadbhadram Tanna Asuva. This is Yajurveda, 30th chapter, third mantra. I am not reading out the Sanskrit part because Maharishi Dayanand wrote a commentary on the Vedas, first in Sanskrit, then followed by Hindi version. So let me read out what is in the Hindi version. So first he says every Ved mantra has 4 parameters called Rishi, Devta, and Chanda and Swara. So he's saying Vishwa Nityasya Narayana Rishi. Savita Devta. Devta of this mantra is Savita. This is usually a term that appears in the Ved Mantra, and the particular Ved Mantra is highlighting certain virtues or aspects of this particular term, that is the Devata of the mantra, namely Savita in this particular case. And as you might have noticed, this term did appear in the Ved mantra, Vishwani Dev Savita Duitani. Then there is a Gayatri Chanda, which is meter, about 24 syllables are there. Shadja Swaya, this is another parameter. Now I read out what he is writing. He is writing two paragraphs, one under the heading of Padartha, and the other one is Bhavartha, overall meaning or purport of the mantra. Let me read the Padartha first, where he gives Hindi meaning of different terms that appear in the Ved mantra. Now I read it as follows. He Dev उत्तम गुण कर्म स्वभाव युक्त सविता उत्तम गुण कर्म स्वभावों में प्रेरणा देने वाले परमेश्वर, आप हमारे विश्वानी सब दुहितानी दुष्ट आचरण व दुखों को पया सुअ दूर कीजिए और यथ जो भद्रम कल्याणकारी धर्मयुक्त आचरण व सुख है तत् उसको न हमारे लिए आ सुअ अच्छे प्रकार उत्पन्न कीजिए. This was first paragraph of Padarth where he gave Hindi meaning of different terms. Then he adds Bhavartha. इस मंत्र में वाचक लुप्तोपमा अलंकार है. This is a particular literary style he is mentioning. Now he writes further, जैसे उपासना किया हुआ जगदीश्वर अपने भक्तों को दुष्ट आचरण से निवृत्त कर श्रेष्ठ आचरण में प्रवृत्त करता है, वैसे राजा भी अधर्म से प्रजाओं को निवृत्त कर धर्म में प्रवृत्त करे और आप भी वैसा होवे. So he is saying, when he says Vachak Luptopama Alankar hai, he is saying that there is an analogy appearing in this mantra, which is trying to tell us that as Ishwar, who has been referred to here as Savita Dev, does good to us, that we'll describe later in what way. In the same manner, the head of the state, which is the Sanskrit term is Raja, or you can say an emperor or monarch or king or whatever you want, but he is a head of the state who is leading the masses by his virtues, not just because he was born in a particular family or such thing, because he is a very virtuous being. So the analogy is being given that the head of the state must also do likewise what Ishwar does to his subjects. What does Ishwar do? When I am in the company of Ishwar, so he used the word upasana kiya hua Jagdishwar. So in analogy, the language is jaise vaise. Whatever this happens, likewise that should happen. So he is saying, when I am in upasana with Ishwar, then what happens? My bad qualities, what is called duyitani, they disappear. And he removes it. and he fills up, in particular in my mind domain, good virtues. And in the same manner, when a subject is in company of his head of the state, let me go back to Upasana with Ishwar. Not only he moves my bad qualities, he takes away my dukh also, all the pain and sorrow also. And in return, he fills he fills me, that is particularly my mind, with all the virtuous qualities, what is called bhadyam, as well as sukha, as well as joy and pleasure and happiness. So should happen when a subject is in company with his head of state. So he is saying, Maharishi Dayanand is saying, that this Ved mantra is trying to teach us what our head of state should be like, and is trying to teach a head of state what he should be like, what he should be doing. Any pain and suffering of a subject due to injustice, due to scarcity of commodities, or due to ignorance, it is the duty of head of state to remove all such pain and suffering by letting the justice prevail, by making the commodities easily available so that everybody has an ability to purchase. They have the purchasing power, particularly for the essential commodities that are so needed for our survival and development and growth. And also, he should take measures to educate the people, the public, about true knowledge so that superstitions do not exist and so on and so forth. In other words, head of state should as if be the representative of Ishwar. He must have such loftier qualities. This is what his Upma Alanka is talking about. Anyway, I did recite this Ved mantra just to give an example of the Pratna, Ishwar Pratna, and I interpreted at that moment as if this is a mere prayer to Ishwar. You remove my bad nature, bad qualities that have somehow entered into my mind, what is called bad sanskars, and fill it with all that is positive, as if this is in the nature of prayer. That's what a common man will interpret as. But this is the fantastic, that is the genius of Maharishi Dayanand. In the Bhavat, he has used the term जैसे उपासना किया हुआ जगदीश्वर. What it means is, having performed the upasana with that Ishwar, me, myself, will go through a transformation in my mind. So he is interpreting this mantra as upasana. Upasana payak mantra. In particular, what benefit will be gained by me if I did upasana? And what is he saying is fantastic. And at another point in Satyat Prakash is writing it, उपासना से ईश्वर के जैसे गुण कर्म स्वभाव प्राप्त करना. Means he is declaring, if you are doing upasana, your attributes will become like that of Ishwar. I cannot imagine a statement more powerful than this. Qualitatively, I can become like Ishwar, though quantitatively I will remain small. And that's what he's saying here. उपासना किया हुआ जगदीश्वर अपने भक्तों को दुष्ट आचरण से निवृत्त कर श्रेष्ठ आचरण में प्रवृत्त करता है. If I am practicing upasana in my day-to-day life, then gradually I will become a person that all my functions and activities will get rid of its impurities. Anything that I did was wrongful or bad will gradually become righteous act and good and positive acts. And previously he has said, because that is his good karma swabhav, by swabhav he is Ananda Swarup. So I will be also becoming in his true nature Ananda Swarup. So a true upasak will never experience dukh in his life. That's what upasana is capable of delivering to each one of us. And this set of 8 mantras, Ishwar Stuti Pratna, very concise, which can come in less than one page. And Agnihotra is prefaced with this citation. Whatever be the occasion, they summarize in a very concise manner what a human life should be, who should our be, who should be our role model, Ishwar. And indeed, it gives us a roadmap by virtue of Ishwar, Stuti, Pratna, and Upasana. I can achieve this objective that qualitatively I can be like him. But the misunderstanding has come that by mere recitation of these mantras, stuti can be done, no problem. Pratna can be done, no problem. But upasana is not done by mere recitation. That has to be practiced as yogas chitta vritti nirodha. So let's go to specifics of this Ved mantra. Vishwani, all that is, all, which we may not be knowing it. But here the word Vishwa, Vishwa is the entire universe. The word Vishwa comes in the first chapter of Satyat Prakash also, when Maharishi Dayanand lists 100 plus names of Ishwar. I am not able to recall exactly if Vishwa comes as it is, but it does come at least as Vishwambhar. And at the occasion that he mentions, the term Vishwa is derived from the root Vishpaveshne. This is a very significant observation. Vishwapaveshne gives a meaning to the Vishwa as if Ishwar has entered into it by very nature. So the universe is carved out, made within him because automatically he is the first to enter into it in a most effortless manner. Indeed, he is there first, then comes the universe, so to say. Why the word Vishwani Dev Savita Duyitani? Vishwani Duyitani Payasva. All the Duyitani, all that is bad, Payasva may go away from me. But then it has been highlighted Vishwani Duyitani. All that is bad, Sarvani Duyitani. It could have been said as Sarvani Duyitani. All that is bad. But the term Vishwani has a special meaning that all that is bad within me has somehow entered into me within without my knowing. I am not even aware how did that bad thing come into my mind. How did I pick up that bad sanskar? Maybe I inherited them from my previous life. So there may be, I just have no idea how did these bad things enter into my mind domain. And they are very functional. They cause certain thoughts in my mind, and those thoughts becomes actions. And if these are bad thoughts, bad ideas, invariably they will lead to bad actions, and that will, by virtue of the law of karma, they will bring dukh to me. Good karma being sukh, and bad karma being dukh sooner or later. So the bad actions and dukh have been clubbed together as दुयितानि. दुष्ट आचरण व दुखों को दूर कीजिए. So Vishwani Duyitani Payasua, the term Vishwani is not just mere Sarvani, not just Sabha. It implicitly holds a meaning that the way they entered into me, I might not have been aware of it. I When did I start smoking? I may be able to look back that yes, I was very conscious when a friend offered to me a piece of cigarette and he just said, just try it once. And I was tempted. When I started drinking, when I started eating chicken and other kind of things, I may be able to look back. But why do I have excessive lust? Why do I get tempted to steal somebody's cash? These are so many things in my life which I cannot pinpoint when did I do it first or how did I get into this, as opposed to smoking and drinking and meat consumption and other things. Obviously, I have inherited certain sanskars from previous life. They are deposits called sanskars in my mind. And in my childhood, they were what is called pasupta. They were in sleep mode. As a child, I was nice, innocent. I did not harbor anything that can be called as lustful. I did not steal anybody's money because those sanskars were pasupta. That is Ishwar's design. That all that is in sleeping mode for certain years of life so that we can have a clean start in our life. But then, as the law of karma is will dictate, what I have gathered, that is my bank balance, that is my ledger showing that in so many lives I have gathered goodness as well as bad sanskars. And after some nice childhood, they begin to pop up. So these are called as klesh in Patanjali's vocabulary to use it. And he says klesh is in four mode. Pasupta, Tanu, Vikchinna, Udar. I'm not going into those details. I just mentioned it is his great kindness that when we start a new life as a human being, for some years, our childhood, before we become really a teenager, all the bad sanskars are in sleep mode, in pasupt mode. Otherwise, just think of the havoc they will cause. If even as a child I could harbor the ideas of lust, if as a child I could harbor the wrongful ideas of stealing and doing all kinds of rubbish, bad things to others, violence, killing, things like that, I might have inherited those sanskars, but they are in sleep mode. But now, as I am growing, teenager and adult, then they pop up one after another. But I was trying to express the hidden meaning behind the term Vishwani, that it just somehow gets into me. Of course, we are aware of this in day to day life. I put in a nice clean shirt. I do take care that it doesn't pick up dirt, but at the end of the day, when I put it off, I know it needs to be washed. It needs to be washed because it did pick up so much without my knowing, or even though I was very careful not to pick up, because that is the nature of the world. Second law of thermodynamics. With time, any system, the entropy must increase with time. It cannot decrease with time. The inner chaos, the inner disorder at a molecular level, though seemingly the chair is same what it was 1 year ago, but since then it has picked up a lot of dirt here and there. It is not as clean as it was when I bought it new. It has degraded. So with time, everything's degrade with time. Things don't get better with time. So is too with our mind. If I am not careful, Vishwani Dvitani, it just picks up all kind. I am walking in a shopping mall. I may not be consciously picking up something, ideas, but so many pictures, so many sounds, so many things Unknowingly, unconsciously, they get into my mind and they get deposited there. This is the significance of Vishwani Duitani Payasua. They enter into my mind knowingly as well as unknowingly. Then the meaning is Yad Bhadram. Who will know it better? That Savita Dev. Savita is Jagat Utpadak. She is like our supreme mother and father. If a child has a problem, is in pain, whom does child go to? The mother, the father. That's what we say that we want to go to that Savita who has the capacity, who has the powers. I know how to wash my shirt, but nobody in the world knows how to wash your mind. Nobody in the world knows how to wash your mind. But Vedic Rishi knew it. That's the legacy we are part of, that Upasana. If I am in his lap, if I am in that mother's lap, then she will wash my mind. But for anybody to do, to wash a system, even if you want to wash your car or service your car, get your laptop cleaned and serviced, you give it to a good technician, good mechanic for some time duration, for a couple of hours, and in those couple of hours you are not using that system. Then only you can give it to another technician, isn't it? I'm coming back to the Patanjali's concept of yogas chittavritti nayotha. If you want your mind to be washed and serviced by that Savita mother, then you have to hand over that mind to her. And if you want to hand over your mind, you have to stop using it. If you are using it, then how can you hand it over? That is why it is very important to learn and understand and practice the idea of bringing your mind to a calm state. In those moments, the Mother Savita will remove all that wash it away, and she will fill it with all that is good for you, what is called Bhadya, that we are not specific. Yad Bhadyam, we leave it to Mother Savita. You know what is good for me. We don't want anything specific. Like only the mother knows best what should be given to the child. When what food should be given, when should be given to drink, when what clothes, what is the outside temperature, what is the right kind of mother knows it all. And she will do it what is right, appropriate thing for her child. And this is our supreme mother. We go to her, try to empty our mind, still blank mind, and then she washes away all the dirt that might have been lingering on our mind for so many lifetimes, but she is capable of washing it away and fill it with some good virtues. Bhadram Tanna Asu. So we have, in this particular session number 4, we have again reviewed the interplay of Jnana, Kayam and Upasana by way of Stuti, Pratna and Upasana. And we noticed Upasana is different from Stuti and Pratna, that Stuti and Pratna requires us to function with body and mind instruments, whereas Upasana by definition is performed when our mind is empty, blank and still. That's what Patanjali characterized Yoga Chittavetti Nirodha. And then we have discussed the first mantra out of Ishvara Pratna Upasana, very short, just 24 syllables, but carries a profound, deep meaning that if I am successful in Upasana, then I will emerge a better person. I will emerge with my negativity washed out and positivity adding on. So much is the power of Upasana, provided we do it properly. We do it with all our full potentials, and then only we can see the results of it. Thank you very much for your attention. We will move on to the second mantra, Om Hiranyagarbha Samavatatake, and see what is the particular sequence of these 8 mantras and how they can raise our spiritual index, spiritual level of every human being. Though Agnihotra is basically is a karma based function, but it is performed in such a manner that it motivates one to become a holistically a very better, good human being by adopting the measures of Upasana also. Thank you very much.